Welcome to the Americana Bistro Grill. I'm your host, Roberto Alvarez-Galloso, serving you the best in Americana music and in Americana, or better yet, American culture. I'm right here with the Henceroth brothers because they are doing a really great job in preserving not only American culture with their music, but they're also doing it with their history, which is our history, especially Ohio history. I myself include myself in this because I was born in Ohio. I was born in Akron. And I was really surprised with one of your videos that I loved about how you are conserving Ohio and American history. You are doing a special called Revamping History. What is it all about, Revamping History?
Well, again, thanks for having us on the show again.
For me, it's a pleasure.
To be a guest here on the American Bistro show. But we started out because we were looking for something new to do, trying to broaden our horizons a bit. But we've been really getting into a lot of history, documentaries, and stuff over the past few years, and we decided we wanted to try to go ahead and take our hand at doing one our own. So we picked this event of Morgan's surrender because it happened right here in Columbiana County, where we're currently at. And it's a story that a lot of people don't know about. But it's like officially it's the northernmost event that happened during the Civil War. But we don't really hear much about it because it's not as big as like Gettysburg or Antietam or anything like that. But we thought the story deserved a little bit of more recognition, so we went ahead and made a documentary. We spent 4 or 5 months probably researching the topic, just trying to really figure out what happened, get a real good story. And then we got it released. We worked with the Lisbon Historical Society. They kind of got us started because we went down there and they had all kinds of information you can't find on the internet. They had all these like old documents and everything from the early 1900s. And we learned so much. So we want to give a shout out to the Lisbon, Ohio Historical Society. They're doing great things down there and they helped us out tremendously.
Yeah, I want to also thank them for giving the whole world this history that I myself, being a Buckeye, I didn't even know about it. I had a little inkling about it, but I was not aware about General Morgan's surrender. And I wanted to thank you and the Lisbon Historical Society for a great job. I'm going to be tagging them also as well in this interview.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
So
that's just one episode. That's our first one that's out. But our next one's going to be about the Underground Railroad in Salem, Ohio, which is another town in Columbiana County. They have a long, rich history of all these old houses that still exist today that have, hidden rooms and have all this, history of different abolitionists and people like that that traveled through Salem on their way to somewhere else. So you'd be looking for that one. That'll be our next episode.
Yeah, but I saw...
And then there's also one about Pretty Boy Floyd, the gangster. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but
I've heard of him.
The FBI or whoever was caught up with him in Columbiana County, and that's where they shot him down. So that's another story that we're going to be researching a lot on, and hopefully before the end of the year, we're going to have 2 more episodes out.
Yep. I want to congratulate you on this because it is these histories that we should be learning about as well. This is our history. And most of this history is not even in the internet, like you said. You have to actually go to the historical societies. That's why I'm also congratulating the Lisbon Historical Society and the Columbiana County Society in all of this. I'm also congratulating you in bringing out this history of Ohio and also the history of America that almost nobody never knew or knows. Because I knew there was a northern battle in the Civil War. I knew there was one in Ohio, but I did not. I actually sat down and saw General Morgan's surrender. It was a really great video. I loved how you interviewed the curator of the Lisbon Historical Society and the mayor of Lisbon. It was really well done. And I also like the video that you did of the old Stone Tavern. We're going to be looking forward to all of your historical videos. And then I love it a lot. And of course,
that's what what it comes down to. Like, we can make these videos, but it's the people we interview who are really helping with this whole thing. They're the ones giving us the real information. We're just presenting it, posting it.
Yeah.
All the Salem Historical Society and the East Liverpool one, there's been a ton of people help us out. And even this current one we're working on with the Underground Railroad, we've even been able to, with the help of some other people, Heather Smith has helped us out a ton. But they've helped us come across an individual story of a guy, like a runaway, coming through Salem, and then ultimately fighting even in the one of the colored regiments during the Civil War. And we get to present that story, which we haven't seen anybody else do. So that's really cool. A guy named Vince Shivers hooked us up with that, and we're interviewing him as well. It's going to be a real good episode, but it's also going to have some information that no one's ever heard before.
Yeah.
And it's real interesting too, because a lot of these stories, we don't know a lot about ourselves personally. So we have to spend 2 or 3 months studying the subject. So in a way, we get to make the videos, but we're also learning a lot too. Just the two of us, we're learning, even though we haven't been in school forever. But yeah, it's been an awesome process because we've learned so much and got to see all these different artifacts and old guns and all that stuff. And man, it's been awesome.
Yeah, it's not just the fact that you're learning it, but we're learning it too, because this is not, I haven't been in school for a long time either. But regardless, this is the history that is not even being shown in school, and this is the history that we, as a state, I'm talking as a Buckeye, and as a nation, we're Americans, have to know. In order, we have to know our history to know where we're at right now in order to go to the future. And this is the type of history that we need as well. We don't get this in any schools. I myself, give and take that I've been elsewhere, but when I was in school in Ohio, we never had this type of history. It was just simply, everything was you probably went through it too. Everything was just simply whitewashed and went through. You go in, do the history, out you go, you get the certificate, and you graduate to the next school. You didn't get to that nitty-gritty of, for example, General Morgan's surrender, or even the Underground Railroad, the role that Salem, Ohio, and Columbiana County played in the struggle against slavery. You don't get that.
And another important thing that it might not make it in the documentary, but even Salem, it was one of the first places where they held women's rights rallies. Some of the places where they started holding some of the first rallies to try to get the right to vote, even as a woman. So that's another aspect of Salem they don't hear too much about.
These are the things that we have to know. We have to know them, and it's not only for not only for us who are Buckeyes in our state and our country, but the whole world should know that also. For the whole world, America is not just D.C., New York, or L.A. There's a lot of history in between L.A. and New York that hasn't been covered.
Yeah, and that's why we encourage everybody out there that's watching, if you make videos, think about your own local history. If you live in Arizona, you live in Texas or Florida, these kind of events happened all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to see, and you can see a lot of this too on YouTube. We've been joining a lot of different channels on YouTube where a lot of these guys go out and do these selfie videos, but they really kind of dig deep on the history and they show a lot of awesome places. And you should check out one called The History Underground. A guy named JD. He does a really good job at doing a real simple videos but filled with information.
Yeah, you're giving me ideas also. I might do some of the history of Florida. I've done some about the history of Florida.
Yeah.
I've done some, but I'm probably going to be uncovering more because here in Miami we've had a lot of history. The Keys, we've also had a lot of history too. I did one documentary. I once did one documentary a long time ago in Key West of a place called San Carlos Institute, which was once the embassy of Cuba, and it was also a palace in the past. Plus, there was a Hard Rock Cafe that served in the beginning of the 20th century as the place where Ernest Hemingway and Tennessee Williams met and wrote. These are the things that we need to cover. And I congratulate you.
That's the great thing about YouTube, is that you you can see all this stuff that maybe they don't have time to teach in schools. Because really, maybe there's just so much history that, I mean, where do you really start at? You know, it's like, so that's the nice thing about having access to something like YouTube. You can catch all these little stories, and you can dig deep if you know what to look for.
Yeah, in order to get such history, one has to, like you are doing. You took one subject, General Morgan's surrender, and you stuck with the General Morgan surrender. Then you're going to go to another history. You go to another history. That way, people will get all the history of Salem, Columbiana County, Ohio, because you cannot cover everything. You have to take one subject at a time and cover it.
Yeah, and that was the cool thing about the Morgan surrender. It was nice that, you know, once we researched the whole story, we saw how the events happened, but, you know, we're like, well, we wanted to dig a little deeper, so we're like, you know, what were the townspeople doing while all this was going on? So we got to find out about, you know, even the meal that was getting made before all the home guard people assembled, and then they went out to defend the village of New Lisbon. But it was cool, you know, seeing, like, you know, the different, like, meals that they actually made, and, you know, because usually that's kind of stuff people don't focus on, because if you're making a documentary, you usually just focus on the hardcore military facts. But it was nice seeing what were the regular people doing, you know?
Yeah, and you also have to include the regular people, because the regular people really were also the ones who participated.
Yeah.
And I do want to congratulate you on that one. I also
we got to see about how, like, those regular people, you know, they got to make a huge difference, where had they not gotten in the middle of things, Morgan probably would have just gotten around them. And who knows, might have had to surrender somewhere else, but, you know, he might have gotten away. But the home guard of New Lisbon, they actually did a good job of just slowing him down and tripping him up, basically.
Yep. Looking at your documentary about General Morgan, personally, if the people had done or not done, the people did a lot, but if the people were indifferent, General Morgan would have probably been captured a lot later. But he was already surrounded as it was, because he was really deep in Northern Territory.
Yeah, he was running out of supplies and stuff, and you got way too far north.
And especially when you had the northernmost part of the Civil War happening in Ohio. With the little things that he had, I don't think he would have made it even much more than Columbiana County.
Yeah, he was like running on fumes anyways.
And the same with him. He even went to Kentucky and in Tennessee they got him. So it was either earlier or later they would have caught him, and he would have had to surrender anyway.
Yeah, that was the business he was in.
So that's the way I see it. At the same time, I've also been seeing some of your videos, your music videos. I love the one called Out Here in the Country.
Oh yeah, we appreciate that. That was a song we worked on for a long time. Kind of spent a long time getting the song, the lyrics written, getting everything recorded, and then we did all the video. And a lot of it, you know, it looks like we're outside and different stuff, and we actually filmed that whole video back here on this blue screen behind us. And so it looks like I'm sitting outside, like by a table, you know, like trying to sell these Osage oranges. But yeah, like, recorded all that stuff right back here. We shot the stock footage outside. It was so windy and everything that we just couldn't even get the stand to work, because all those little Osage oranges kept blowing all over the place.
Yeah, but how did you get the idea for Out Here in the Country? How did you get the idea?
Well, I gotta think about that, but as far as like a lot of the music, the beat originally, it was done by with Dub 3030, like down in Nashville, Tennessee. He's a guy that we've worked with on, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs now, where he's sent us like most of the music. He's coming up with the beats, you know, some of these extra little guitar licks and stuff. And I think that's where his beat came from. But as far as Out Here in the Country, we probably got the idea because we live out in the country. Even like right now, we're in a barn that's out in the middle of the country. But that's where we have, you know, our video studios. It's set up basically in a barn right now. Until we're trying to get a proper studio built, but yeah, for now, this is how we're working it out. But yeah, we live in the country, so, and we're like, well, what better thing to write about than something you know?
Yeah. You're doing great. You're doing great in promoting the country. We need a lot of promotion of the country. Along with history, we have to promote the country and also promote the original music. I want to congratulate you on that also.
We have a tree farm out here. So we run a tree farm as well. So it gives us all those shots. We got to have little trees and land and stuff to work with. Gives us something to do non-musical, and it really does help the area. Puts better oxygen off. Helps with excess flooding, soil erosion. Something we got into. We try to help with all that stuff too.
Great.
But we also have love for the city. We used to live in Nashville for 6 or 7 years, and we've lived in a couple other cities here and there. And every chance we get to go to the big city, we always take it.
And how do you see the difference between Nashville and Columbiana County?
I don't know. Maybe there's a lot more industry down there. It's a lot. Nashville. It's probably a better place. It was awesome living there. That's where we made a lot of our connections that we have in music today, and that's where we went to audio engineering school. That's how we learned how to use mixing boards, and that's how we do all of our own audio engineering. So we save a lot of money that way, and we get to have a lot more creative, say so into the songs because we're the ones actually recording it. So yeah, we had an awesome time in Nashville, and it's been a couple years since we've been there. We haven't been there since COVID started, but we will go back to Nashville again. We used to go there a couple times a year, even after we moved away.
Great. Also, you're going to do besides the historical documentaries. Are you going to be doing more rock music, rock and country music, like you've done before COVID?
Yeah, we still have a couple rock songs and a couple little country type songs that we are going to release before the end of the year, and we hope to do a couple music videos with them. And we recently put one out called Never Ends. It was a collaboration we did with a band called Third Class. That's a band from right around here too, maybe East Palestine and the Youngstown area.
Yeah, I've been there.
But we plan on doing a video for that at some point. We're still trying to figure out a good idea and how to properly do a good video for it.
Great.
But you can find that song on Spotify, and I think you can find the topic video on YouTube. It's a song called Never Ends by the Breeze Wave featuring Third Class. Yeah, those Third Class guys are real cool to work with. We've known them forever. Our bands started at similar times back in the mid-90s. And so we were always playing some gigs with them on and off, but we hadn't really seen them actually in a while. So when we finally, we came up with this song idea, we had this, I don't even know what this drum thing's called, but it's this drum thing that makes a certain melody, but I learned how to play it enough just to record it. But so we had this song, we're like, man, that sounds like these guys from Third Class could finish this off. We had a hard time coming up with a chorus for it. And so Lee did an awesome job coming up with that, and Jack put down some good guitar on there, and Pepe is another one of their members. Those guys are real cool to work with. And our other Breezeway member, IR, he's on that song as well. He did an awesome job. He's still with the Breezeway.
Great. But in addition to more songs and more documentaries, are you going to be doing more concerts? I still remember some of the virtual concerts that you gave a lot. You gave concerts in the North Pole, you gave them in Liverpool, Akron. I loved I saw every one of them and I loved it. I loved them. I especially loved the North Pole one with the elves. And the Liverpool one, I loved it too. And of course the one in Akron. We're waiting for a virtual concert here in Miami.
You're right. That's a good one. Well, thanks for the heads up. There might be one like that coming here pretty soon.
So,
and we're also hoping that by next year, the Breezeway will start playing out real gigs again as well.
Yeah.
We've decided to take the rest of this year off because with these 3 documentaries we're doing and a few other projects we've had to commit to, that we decided to take the rest of this year off from actual live gigs. But we will do a couple more virtuals. But next year we're going to also be playing. Hopefully, we're doing a small tour. It won't be, it'll probably just be stuff here, nothing in Europe. But we're hoping to get back to that as well. But hopefully, we can come all the way to Miami.
We'll be waiting for you in Miami, and if not in Miami, the Florida Keys. I'm gonna recommend to you 2 places where you could really perform. There's the Key Largo. I hope they have it back, but they have the Key Largo Original Music Festival and the Key West Singer-Songwriter Festival. If you can't go to those ones, there's one place that I do remember. The bikers go there a lot. It's called Cafe 27. Cafe 27, you go down I-75. All the way from Ohio, go on I-75. Then you get off on US 27. On US 27, you go down US 27. It's between I-75 and another place called Chrome Avenue. You could Google it. And then you go down, and then on your left, you'll see a Seminole gas station. And in the Seminole gas station, you'll see the Cafe 27. They have a lot of artists. They have a lot of artists there, especially ones in country and rock. They've had 33 years. Ricky Valido, I think I sent you one of his videos just in case. Midnight Kahuna. They have all performed there, and great results. And of course, you have the people with their motorbikes, the non-motorbikes, and everybody enjoying. And there's some other places that I don't remember, but I do remember the Cafe 27. And of course, I just remember another place in Homestead, Seminole Theater. In Seminole Theater, we had a Woodstock. It was a Spanish language version, but it was a Woodstock in which we had all the rock groups from Florida in the Spanish Woodstock. So there's two places where you could perform.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely check that out. See if they're willing to book us.
Yeah, and then I don't know if Key Largo's going to have their original song festival. If they do, I'll let you know about it. But definitely the Key West Singer-Songwriter Festival. They're every May they go. Every May they celebrate. All the singer-songwriters from 50 states go there, and they get booked and everything. They perform. You might want to check it, but it's a little bit pricey because now it's getting a lot of publicity. But the ones I'm telling you about, Seminole Theater, you could get booked there, or Cafe 27.
Appreciate the heads up on that. Hey, we also want to give our bass player Bernie and his girlfriend Heather a shout out. Like, they're down in Florida right now on vacation. I'm not exactly sure what city they're at, but I saw the pictures and it looked pretty nice. Hey.
I'm going to give them a heads up too here from the Americana Bistro Grill. But I want to congratulate you on all you've been doing. Also, any other artists from Ohio, from the Buckeye State, and from America, from not only from our country, America, but also from the Buckeye State, please have them come down to the Americana Bistro Grill, and we'll be interviewing them and giving them all the publicity, because our state needs all the publicity of the artists. We still have a lot more artists than we did when we had Meatloaf, that's for sure, and we have to show the world that we still have great artists. And that we still have some great rock and roll.
Yeah, that was well put, man. That was awesome.
And of course, the history. So bring them all. The more the merrier.
That's right.
We already told everybody about where your music is available. So
and also our YouTube channel is the Breezeway Vids.
Yeah, I have it here.
Over there at YouTube, just search that, or search Revamping History or the Breezeway. All that stuff comes up.
Yeah, I do want to congratulate you on your version of "Joy to the World" with the electric guitar.
Oh yeah,
you really
to make that song video.
You really gave it a really thumbs up with the electric guitar. Many times these types of Christmas carols need the electric guitar. I heard one version of the Little Drummer Boy and the electric guitar. Really great, beautiful.
Yeah.
And who could forget Mercy Me rocking around the Christmas tree?
I think at the time we were listening to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We were listening to their heavy metal versions of these Christmas songs. We don't really do too much heavy metal, but we tried to do one that was kind of like punk rock. Mm-hmm. And that's how Joy to the World came out.
Yep, and you really did it.
We got to work with we got to license out some footage from that from an old. I don't know what year, maybe the 40s or 50s or something, but a thing called Santa and the Three Bears. It's an old Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. But we licensed out, got to use a few of their clips, probably 4 or 5 clips from that old movie, and they let us use it, which was awesome.
So you really did a really great job. And I also want to wish you the best not only with the documentaries, but also want to wish you the best with the music. Keep pumping up the boat, keep pumping up both, and keep helping our state and our country, music-wise.
That's what we're gonna do.
That's what we need a lot nowadays. We need a lot of it, and we need people to take a look at inside of what we have in the music. And for me, for me as a Buckeye, being born and raised in Akron, Ohio, it's a pleasure helping all of my fellow Buckeyes have their music promoted in my program, the Americana Bistro Grill. And you bring more artists. The more the merrier. Bring more artists. I'm even going further. I'm promoting the Breezeway. I have the T-shirt of the Breezeway. I still have the T-shirt. I still have the CDs, and of course, I'm now promoting the clothes from the All American Clothing Company. Not being paid. This is myself promoting and saying this is great clothes, USA made, Ohio made, and I buy it. Because I believe that the workers of Ohio and America need a fair share. Because all of this is made in America, done in America, and produced in America, and the money stays in America, especially in Ohio.
It's a good plug, good company then, for sure.
I do highly recommend it. It's a lot more expensive than going to a Walmart or going to Penny's, if there's still a Penny's. But I have the tranquility that I have bought all of this much more expensive than Walmart, but that my money remained in Ohio. Remained in America, but also remained in Ohio, so that the workers could get the fruits of their labor. Compared to other areas that do not get the fruits of their labor, but simply get 1 cent. After all, we have to help our country, we have to help our state, we have to help our country in many ways.
And again, we want to thank you for having us on the show, and we're definitely going to promote it and get the word out. And any artists we come across, we're going to send them your way for sure.
Great. You have my Instagram, you have my YouTube, you have my email, you have everything. I'm also on Messenger. For me, it's a pleasure and honor having you always. It's always a pleasure and honor visiting your YouTube and seeing your documentaries, seeing your music, and of course, during this 2 years of what we had to go through, your virtual concerts got a smile on my face, and I was telling everybody about your concerts. And of course, I still pump the CDs in my car. I wear the Breezeway shirt whenever I can wear it. I love it. Enjoy it. Of course, I didn't have it here today because I wanted to promote an Ohio company.
Oh yeah.
Which I've been doing since the beginning of 2021. Actually, since the summer of 2020, I started promoting All American Clothing Company. I used my stimulus money to replace all of my jeans from Walmart with these.
Nice.
And now I'm just simply using this for the home and just using the Wranglers and the Levi's for outside, but with the purpose of hoping that they would fade away, and then I could throw them away and then start using All American Clothing Company. All made in America. The only way.
Oh yeah.
So, just want to wish you the best, and now and always, and for everybody around here in Florida and America and around the world. Peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere in the Americana Bistro Grill. And, as in the words of Laura Marie, be love. And thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank
Best
you.
wishes.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
This will be going into YouTube afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
You take it easy. Bye-bye.
Later on, man.
See ya.